This is Sky News at 1, live from the heart of Westminster. Our top stories. Theresa May refuses to be drawn on her tax plans after a senior minister claims there won't be rises for the wealthy.
Thank you.
It comes after the Prime Minister and Jeremy Corbyn face tough questions from the public in a TV election special. A man's arrested in connection with the Manchester Arena bombing. Also today, a surprise for fans as Ariana Grande visits children injured in the Manchester terror attack. Scientists treating ovarian cancer say they've made the biggest breakthrough in a decade. And security's ramped up in Cardiff ahead of tonight's Champions League final. Good afternoon. Theresa May has refused to be drawn on whether she'll introduce tax rises if she wins the election. Earlier, her Defence Secretary Michael Fallon claimed that income tax for higher earners will not go up under a Conservative government. In an interview with the Daily Telegraph, he said the only way we can be sure their taxes won't go up is if you vote Conservative. We already know your tax will go up if you vote Labour on Thursday. But a little earlier, the Prime Minister refused to spell out exactly what she was planning.
What people will know when they go to vote on Thursday is that it's the Conservative Party that always has been and is and always will be a low-tax party.
Well, our senior political correspondent Robert Nesbitt was with the Prime Minister earlier on this morning.
We've seen the centre of gravity in this campaign shift from area to area, from social care to Brexit, the two parties. But over the next few days, as we reach that poll on Thursday, where else is this election going to go? My feeling, my assessment, is that the Conservatives will go back to Brexit, saying that Theresa May is the only strong and stable leader capable of going around the table with the European Union just 11 days after the election, whereas Labour are likely to focus on their commitment to public services.
Well, earlier on today, Theresa May and Jeremy Corbyn faced a tough questioning from a television audience for the final time before the election. The Prime Minister was forced to defend her party's change of direction over social care and the government's record on health, but she denied having regrets about calling a snap election. The Labour leader was again tested on whether he would launch a nuclear strike in retaliation and said he can lead successful Brexit negotiations. Robert Nesbitt has this report.
It was the two leaders' final trial by jury of this campaign. But the bigger audience, Britain's electorate, will deliver its verdict next Thursday. Robert Nesbitt, Sky News, York.
A 24-year-old man's being questioned by police investigating the terror attack in Manchester. Meanwhile, Ariana Grande has returned to the city to make a surprise visit to fans who were injured at her concert. From Manchester, Sky's Tom Parmenter has this report.
In the aftermath, Ariana Grande fled home to America. Now she's back. And Parmenter, Sky News, Manchester.
A teenager has been shot dead in Liverpool. The 18-year-old was found with gunshot wounds on Tagus Road in Lodge Lane in Toxteth yesterday evening. He was later pronounced dead in hospital. There's been fierce fighting in Mosul as Iraqi forces continue to try to retake the city from Islamic State. The operation began in February, a month after the city's eastern half was recaptured by government troops. An open-air rock festival in Germany will resume later after being temporarily stopped because of a possible terrorist threat. Tens of thousands of people were evacuated from Rock am Ring in the western town of Nürnberg yesterday. Security for the event, which is meant to run until Sunday, had been stepped up in the wake of the Manchester attack. Scientists say they may have made the biggest breakthrough in treating advanced ovarian cancer for a decade. They've discovered a new treatment which dramatically shrinks tumours in patients who've exhausted all other options. Louisa Pilbeam has more.
Laura Moses adores children, but like Laura, to survive such a vicious killer as ovarian cancer, you need all the help you can get. Louisa Pilbeam, Sky News.
SNP leader Nicola Sturgeon is on the campaign trail today, taking to the skies in the party's campaign helicopter. The Sky's senior correspondent Ian Woods is with the First Minister and joins us live now from Oban. And Ian, it's the last weekend on the election trail, and what exactly is Nicola Sturgeon focusing on today?
She's focusing on getting round as many of the constituencies as she possibly can. She's going to be visiting half a dozen of them today, and she aims to get to 30 before next Thursday, which are Scotland in 2015. They'll certainly be hard-pressed to repeat that performance.
OK, and thanks very much. Lovely place to end her campaign trail. Now, Ireland will soon have a new Prime Minister, its youngest ever and the first to be openly gay. Leo Varadkar has been chosen to lead the country's largest party. A formal vote will take place within the next fortnight to confirm him as Prime Minister. This report from our Ireland correspondent David Blevins contains some flash photography from the very start.
They have changed the guard in Irish politics. Leo Varadkar is just 38 years old, from an ethnic minority background, and openly gay. Greater challenge has yet to come. David Blevins, Sky News in Dublin.
This is Sky News. Coming up, security stepped up in Cardiff ahead of the Champions League final. That's tonight.
To £2,500 at sunny.co.uk.
Now, security has been stepped up in Cardiff ahead of tonight's Champions League final. 170,000 fans are expected to travel to the city as Real Madrid take on Juventus. More than 6,500 officers have been deployed. 600 of them are armed. Enda Brady has this report.
The Champions League music has never been played before in a city as small as Cardiff onto the world, and making sure everyone enjoys their Champions League experience. Enda Brady, Sky News in Cardiff.
Well, let's take a look at the weather now.
While East Asia enjoys a pleasant evening, inspiration blooms in Europe.
It'll be a fresher weekend in store and turning quite chilly in places overnight. However, it will still feel pretty pleasant in the sunshine today. This afternoon, most of England and Wales will have sunny spells, but thicker cloud will bring a few showers into the west, those moving in to more central parts later on. East Anglia and South East England will stay largely dry. Scotland and Ireland will have more frequent showers, which could become heavy and thundery.
The weather, sponsored by Qatar Airways.
This is Sky News. Coming up, it's been a big week in the general election campaign. Adam Bolton takes a look back at the other stories over the past 7 days.